before I leave this legal discussion behind, do you see any hope? I mean, from a legal perspective, I mean, is there any hope you think that the network can be back on air, or given all that has happened, that that would be unlikely?
Let me explain the damage done.
Okay.
This order contains the list of stations,
Okay.
TV and radio stations here.
Okay.
A lot.
Okay.
You know how many TV stations
No, how
and
many?
radio stations SMNI has?
No.
Well, it has 30 operating radio and TV stations.
Nationwide.
29 non-operating for a total of 59 stations.
Okay.
Nationwide.
Okay.
That's a lot of stations. It's a network. It's a big network.
Right.
And people are out of work.
Yeah.
We are now operating on another platform. Let me repeat, not on free-to-air.
Not on free-to-air, yeah.
So, what is happening here?
Right.
The NTC is supposed to protect us.
Right.
Government is also supposed to protect SMNI.
Yeah.
The freedom of information, the press freedom is there. Yet,
Yeah.
we are not protected. We're left to our own devices.
Yeah.
So what's in store for us? I think we can only get justice from the Supreme Court.
Now, so a lot of people would say, or point out the obvious, that this is really not about a legality or what is legal, right? But this is really about something political. Now, for this series, I want to, I want to ask you to put your congressman's hat on and give me your political analysis, right? Because, it's obvious, at least to me, that, we're not talking about legal arguments here, but really it seems like it's more political that's encroaching now, no matter how buloktot it is, into something legal, right? What's your take there? What's your political analysis here?
2 years ago, I thought
Okay.
we're all friends.
Okay.
Remember?
Yeah.
The president went to our event.
The debate.
It was
yeah.
the debates,
Yeah.
deep probe.
Yeah.
And I think all the officials of the present government were there.
Right.
Were there, listening to the boss.
Yes.
Answer questions from us.
Sure.
Okay. Now, what happened? Who is afraid of SMNI?
Okay.
Sino bang takot sa SMNI?
Yeah.
Well, we now see a polarization in politics.
Okay.
So you have Sara Duterte.
Okay.
And on the other hand, you also have Speaker Martin Romualdez.
Okay.
Okay. These two are clashing.
Sure.
The first open war was the budget of the Department of Education.
Okay.
Okay.
The intelligence funds.
The intelligence funds. Okay.
Yeah.
So now, where does SMNI stand there?
Okay.
SMNI is identified to be a Davao-based network, and
Okay.
therefore allied with the Dutertes.
Okay.
So take the SMNI out of the equation, and maybe the other side will feel that they have a fighting chance.
Now, I've asked this from, Jay Sonsa and Attorney Tolentino. As you said, who's afraid of SMNI? Because, a lot of journalists are saying that, SMNI is fringe, right? That it's not part of the established media, but, they grudgingly defend press freedom as well, and maybe somehow sympathize with SMNI. The point is that it seems like it's a very small network. I mean, how much damage do you think it can be? Again, I'm asking you for your political analysis here, because it seems like and even the people from here, at least from the people I've talked to, they're not against the government. In fact, they want the president to succeed. And so, where's the threat? That's the point I'm trying to make, right? And as you said, they were friendly with the network before the elections, and now things have seemingly changed.
Well, it's only now that I realize the reach of SMNI.
Okay.
With 59 stations operating nationwide.
Okay.
That's a lot for a network claim.
Yeah.
And they took out the 59, and we were still operating on the another platform.
Okay.
YouTube, what else? All the rest.
Yeah, all the social
Not
media.
based on free-to-air.
Yeah.
But in the last hearing, they were trying to silence us in those platforms as well.
What were they saying?
They were saying they should, government should stop us from operating on YouTube, on
Okay.
the other platforms as well.
On what legal basis?
Well, they were trying to prove. They were trying to ask MTRCB and TC to stop us.
Okay.
So can you imagine? why stop us
Okay.
on outside of the free-to-air system, outside of the TV and radio stations?
Yeah.
Maybe they still feel the power of SMNI.
But you've been associated with this network longer than I have. I think you have a radio program.
Yes,
long
itanong
before.
mo kay Panyero.
Right. So I'm trying to recall. Was there anything before this confrontation with, as you said, the speaker and the vice president? Was there anything that you heard that may be threatening to the speaker or the administration? Because I can't recall any. I mean, to be honest with you.
Maybe they cannot imagine that SMNI will be free of Davao.
Okay.
Of its Davao connections.
Okay.
In fact, in the prayer rally in Davao,
Okay.
and the festivities that preceded it,
Okay.
in that afternoon,
Okay.
only SMNI aired the program there.
I see.
And what is the effect? No, it was, I think the program was held together with Bagong
Bagong Pilipinas.
Bagong Pilipinas.
Yeah.
Yet, that program in Davao overshadowed Bagong Pilipinas. I think that's power. I think that's the domain of SMNI.
No, but the point I was trying to make was that, to put it in Filipino, hindi naman kalaban eh. That's my point. I think at least before these exchanges that you mentioned with the budget of the OVP and the House, do you recall any incident where
No,
because from what I hear from Pastor Kibuloy's statement and maybe even from the former President Duterte, they weren't against the Marcos administration.
I know.
They
In fact,
wanted to the president to succeed. I mean,
in fact, I would say that SMNI is more government than government. It's more popist than the Pope.
all right.
Well, it's people view it as a government station.
So help us understand here. What are the political undercurrents here? Why is this happening? You
What-
think?
I think that they cannot imagine a situation where SMNI would support
Okay.
the candidacy of Speaker Martin Romualdez
I
as
see.
president after President Bongbong Marcos.
Just because of that.
Yes, I don't think that situation is cannot be imagined. It will
Okay.
never happen.
Help us understand also what's going on in the House, right? Because as I understand it, the first resolution or bill filed was by Attorney Congresswoman Migs Nograles, right? Who of course is also from Davao. How do you read that political development there?
Well,
at least what you can share publicly. I don't want to put you on the spot.
There are two resolutions filed by the Makabayan Bloc.
Okay.
Nandun lang, languishing.
Okay.
Then, after the allegation of the Speaker traveling expenses,
Okay.
Congressman J.J. Suarez delivered a privilege speech.
Okay.
After that, Congresswoman Nograles filed her resolution.
Okay.
Calling for the suspension of SMNI
Right.
for alleged franchise violations.
Right.
Now, after that, Congressman Gutierrez of One Rider Party List filed his House bill for the revocation of the franchise of SMNI.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, let's talk about the Nograleses.
Okay.
Okay. Before PRD became president, they were already fighting over in Davao.
I see.
The late speaker, Nograles, was at one time, I understand, was a candidate against then mayoralty candidate Rodrigo Duterte. But of course, he lost to Duterte.
Okay.
Now, during the Duterte presidency, they were together.
Okay.
Then Congressman Carlo Nograles was the cabinet secretary.
Right.
Then just before the term ended, they appointed him. They had him
Civil
nominated
service,
and appointed
yeah.
civil service, chairman of Civil Service Commission,
Yeah.
which is actually one of the constitutional commissions.
Right.
And with a term.
Yeah, with a fixed
A
term.
I think 7 years.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, remember when the franchise of SMNI was up for renewal, the sponsors were the Nograles brothers.
Okay.
Carlo and I forgot the name of the other, Jojo.
Okay.
They were the sponsors of a House bill calling for the renewal of the franchise of SMNI. So what happened?
Yeah.
I understand that in the barangay elections, there was a big fight over in Davao.
Okay.
And they were able to get inside Davao City.
Okay.
So the stage is set for a Duterte-Nograles fight again.
Okay.
Once again, in 2022. 2025.
2025.
Okay, but that's different. What about Speaker Speaker Romualdez?
Yeah.
I think that's a different case altogether.
Okay.
I think that is the fight for the successor to President Bongbong Marcos. In fact, I would tie that up to the People's Initiative.
Okay. But, a lot of people would point out that, they were part of the same unity, right? I mean, as a political, personality as well.
Mm-hmm.
Does that surprise you that, this is the way how it is unfolding? Because, from an outsider, right? I mean, my assumption would be if you have higher political ambition, then your move should be to bring people together, add people to your side, right? But this seems to be dividing what is already a unified movement, right? What is your take on that?
Well, they say politics is addition.
Right,
Yet
exactly.
we see subtraction.
Right.
We see division. I think it's up to the president to play his card very well. He has a card to play.
Okay.
It's up to him to call the warring parties together and tell them to, smoke the peace pipe.
Yeah.
But we're waiting for that. Only a word from the president will stop these intramurals.